The Galactic Concord observation post on the fringes of the Arcturus sector had never registered more than routine traffic in its 300 years of operation. Commander Lext of the Pellerin species checked the alert notification with mild irritation. His 4 compound eyes blinked in sequence as he reviewed the sensor data, then froze mid-blink. Senior Analyst Nevrax, verify these readings, he mandated, his voice uncharacteristically tight. The slender, gray-skinned analyst approached the console. Another glitch in the long-range sensors. This sector is notorious for. Her words died as she observed the holographic display. That's impossible. The vessel that had triggered their sensors defied classification in the Concord database. Its hull configuration suggested a military design, with obvious weapon emplacements and reinforced armor plating. But what truly alarmed the observation team was its method of arrival. The ship had simply appeared, without utilizing any recognized form of faster-than-light travel. No quantum wake signature, no dimensional fold residue, no hyperspace tunnel collapse. Nevrax muttered, her fingers dancing across the interface. It's as if it stepped sideways into normal space. Commander Lext activated the station's alert protocol. Within moments, the nearest Concord patrol vessel, the Harmonious Equation, diverted course to investigate. Approaching unknown vessel, Captain Virex of the Harmonious Equation reported 6 hours later. We are broadcasting standard greeting protocols on all frequencies. The observation post staff watched through the patrol ship's feed as it approached the mysterious vessel. The warship was surprisingly elegant despite its obvious military purpose. Sleek lines of dark metal with occasional pulsing blue lights along what appeared to be power conduits. No visible markings identified its origin. No response to communications, Captain Virex updated, initiating closer approach with passive scans only. As the Harmonious Equation closed to within 10,000 kilometers, the unknown vessel suddenly powered up. Energy readings spiked across all monitored spectrums. We're detecting weapons targeting systems. Captain Virex's voice remained calm, befitting an officer with 2 centuries of experience, raising defensive barriers as precaution. The feed showed a brief flash as 3 precision energy pulses struck the Concord vessel. The diplomatic ship's systems flickered, then stabilized at minimal power levels. Harmonious Equation reporting, came Captain Virex's voice, now tinged with genuine concern. We've been disabled. Precision strikes took out our primary power core, propulsion, and weapons systems without breaching our hull. Whoever they are, they could have destroyed us, but chose not to. Commander Lext ordered the immediate dispatch of 2 additional vessels, 1 military, 1 diplomatic. We need to establish contact with whoever commands that ship. 12 hours later, the diplomatic vessel Voice of Many succeeded where the Harmonious Equation had failed. A communication channel opened, and for the first time, the Galactic Concord saw the face of their mysterious visitor. The creature was bictal, with pinkish-tan skin, bilateral symmetry, and a curious tuft of dark filaments atop its head. It wore a dark uniform with unfamiliar insignia. This is Captain Erica Rice of the Earth Defense Force vessel Vigilant, it stated in a surprisingly melodious voice. You are currently approaching restricted space. State your intentions. The observation post erupted in confused activity. Earth was a quarantined pre-spacefaring world in the Sol system, designated for minimal observation only. Its inhabitants were known to be centuries away from achieving interstellar travel. Yet here was one of them, commanding a warship that outclassed Concord technology. Something had gone terribly wrong with the galaxy's careful order. Admiral Helena Chen stood before the memorial wall aboard the Retribution, her weathered fingers tracing the etched name of her daughter, Maya. 20 years had passed, but the pain remained as sharp as the day the Horizon colony went silent. The wall stretched the entire length of the corridor, bearing the names of all 12,384 colonists lost. Admiral, a voice called from behind her. We've made contact with a species calling themselves the Galactic Concord. Chen turned to face her XO, Commander Takahashi. His expression was carefully neutral, but she could read the tension in his stance. "Show me," she ordered, following him to the bridge. The Retribution was humanity's masterpiece, a Vengeance-class warship constructed in the hidden shipyards of Ceres after Earth learned the truth. Its hull incorporated salvaged alien technology, improved upon by humanity's desperate innovation. What had begun as a scientific expedition to Horizon had evolved into humanity's first true warship. On the bridge, the tactical display showed the positions of 3 alien vessels maintaining a respectful distance. One was clearly disabled. They approached using standard first contact protocols, Takahashi explained. Captain Reyes on the Vigilant made initial contact and alerted us. The aliens appear confused by our presence. I imagine they would be, Chen replied coolly. According to the files we recovered, we're not supposed to achieve interstellar travel for another century. The communication officer interrupted. Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the alien diplomatic vessel. They're requesting to speak with our highest authority. Chen nodded. Put them through. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a being with iridescent scales and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. It spoke in a melodious tone, the ship's translation software rendering its words in English with only a slight delay. I am Ambassador Zextal of the Galactic Conquests. We wish to understand how humans have achieved such technological advancement. Our records indicate your species should be confined to your home system for generations to come. Chen's expression hardened. Your records were convenient fictions. We know about the observation posts. We know about the experiments. And we know about Horizon. The ambassador's eyes blinked in sequence. A gesture Chen had learned indicated confusion. Horizon. I am not familiar with this term. Our first extrasolar colony, Chen replied, her voice like ice. Established 20 years ago in the Ta-City system, home to 12,000 people until it went silent without warning. She tapped a command into her console, sending data to the alien vessel. These are the coordinates. These are the recovery mission logs. And these, she continued, bringing up images of strange craft with organic-looking hulls, are the vessels we found harvesting the survivors. The ambassador's posture changed immediately. Chen had studied enough xenobiology to recognize shock. This is impossible, the alien stammered. The Concorde has strict non-interference protocols for developing species. We would never. Not the Concorde, perhaps, Chen interrupted. But someone within your alliance, someone who thought humans were suitable test subjects, someone who didn't expect us to recover their technology, reverse engineer it, and build this. She gestured to the bridge around her. The Retribution isn't just a warship, Ambassador. It's a promise. We will find everyone responsible for Horizon. We will recover our people, dead or alive. And we will ensure it never happens again. A moment of silence hung between them. Admiral, the ambassador finally spoke, I believe we have much to discuss. And if what you say is true, the Concorde itself may be in graver danger than we realized. Chen's gaze remained steady. Then let's stop wasting time. Ambassador Voxel adjusted his environment suit nervously as the shuttle descended toward Earth's surface. The Concorde delegation had been granted permission to visit the human homeworld, a gesture of tentative trust following 3 days of tense negotiations aboard the Retribution. Through the viewport, the sprawling metropolis of New Shanghai came into view. The city was a startling blend of familiar urban development and utterly alien architecture. Massive defensive installations dotted the coastline, while orbital platforms hung in the sky above like watchful sentinels. Remarkable, murmured Science Director Quilzen beside him. 20 years ago, their tallest structures were barely 300 meters. Now they've constructed arcologies reaching 2 kilometers high. Voxel nodded, his crest flattening with concern. And their population centers are all heavily fortified. This is not normal development. This is a civilization preparing for war. Their escort, a human officer named Major Rivera, smiled thinly. We had to be ready. After Horizon, we knew we weren't alone. And we knew not everyone out there was friendly. The shuttle landed at a military complex adjacent to the United Earth Defense Force headquarters. Armed guards escorted them through security checkpoints into a conference room, where several high-ranking human officials waited. "Welcome to Earth," said a gray-haired human who introduced himself as Director Cheng of Global Security. "I understand you have questions about our technological progress." Voxel didn't waste time with pleasantries. "Your advancement is unprecedented. No species in recorded history has progressed from atmospheric flight to quantum phase weaponry in less than 3 centuries. Yet you've done it in 2 decades. The humans exchanged glances before Director Cheng activated a holographic display. "Necessity is a powerful motivator, Ambassador. This is what we recovered from Horizon." The hologram showed the wreckage of bizarre, organic-looking vessels and partial logs from the colony. The technical data was incomplete but suggested technologies far beyond what humans should have possessed at that time. "We recovered 3 damaged harvester ships," Cheng explained. "They became the foundation for our technological revolution. Reverse engineering their systems led to breakthroughs in propulsion, energy weapons, and shield technology." Science Director Quilzen studied the data with growing horror. "These ships, they bear markers of Vex-Tyler biotechnology. But the Vex-Tyler are founding members of the Concord. They helped establish our non-interference protocols." "Perhaps," Major Rivera interjected, "those protocols were convenient for keeping potential threats unaware while they conducted their harvesting operations." Voxel's inner eyelids flickered, a sign of distress in his species. "This requires investigation at the highest levels of the Concord. If the Vex-Tyler have violated our most sacred principles." "There's more," Director Cheng interrupted, changing the display. "We've tracked skirmishes with these harvesters across 7 sectors. We believe they've been targeting other pre-spacefaring species besides humans." The display showed battle data from the Retribution and other Earth vessels. Encounters with similar organic ships had increased in the past year, suggesting the harvesters were growing more aggressive. "Admiral Chen has assembled a comprehensive file," Cheng continued. "Ship movements, attack patterns, recovered biological samples. The harvesters aren't just collecting specimens. They are systematically eliminating any evidence of their activities." Voxel felt a cold realization settle in his mind. If the Vex-Tyler, one of the most technologically advanced species in the Concord, had been conducting these operations secretly, the implications were staggering. "The Concord Council must be informed immediately," he stated firmly. "This threatens everything we stand for." Director Cheng's expression hardened. "We're counting on that, Ambassador, because right now, humanity stands alone against an enemy that's been operating in your blind spot for centuries, and we can't afford to wait for your politics to catch up with reality." The conference room aboard the Retribution fell silent as Admiral Chen finished presenting the evidence. The holographic display showed a 3-dimensional map of known Vex-Tyler harvesting operations, with Earth's missing colony of Horizon marked prominently in red. 17 documented incursions into human territory, Chen stated, her voice steady despite the weight of her words. 43 suspected abductions from remote outposts, and 1 colony of 12,000 souls gone. Ambassador Voxel looked physically ill, his usual iridescent skin now a pale, sickly hue. Beside him, representatives from 12 Concord species watched with expressions ranging from horror to disbelief. "Why would the Vex-Tyler do this?" asked Kavoran, the mantis-like military liaison. "They have access to all Concord technology. What could they possibly gain from harvesting pre-spacefaring species?" Chen nodded to her science officer, Dr. Kapoor, who stepped forward. "Genetic material," Kapoor explained, bringing up molecular structures on the display. "Specifically, adaptive genetic sequences. Our analysis of recovered Vex-Tyler tech suggests they're using genetic material from multiple species to enhance their biological technologies." Kapoor highlighted a series of cellular scans. These are from a damaged harvester ship we captured near Proxima Centauri. The organic components contain DNA from at least 7 distinct species, including human. But that makes no sense, protested Science Director Quilson. The Vextiler share all their biological advances with the Concorde. Their regenerative medical technologies have saved billions of lives across our worlds. Chen's expression hardened. Do they share all of them, Director? Or just the ones that don't reveal their methods? She tapped her console, bringing up classified Concorde medical reports that Ambassador Voxel had reluctantly provided. Your own data shows that Vextiler biotechnology took a significant leap forward approximately 300 years ago, coinciding with their first deep space expeditions to catalog pre-spacefaring worlds. The implication hung heavy in the air. We're not their first victims, Chen continued quietly, just their most recent mistake. Ambassador Voxel's translator struggled to convey the complex emotional tones in his voice. If what you're suggesting is true, Admiral, then the Vextiler have been violating our most sacred principles since before the current Concorde was even formed. The political ramifications are incalculable. Politics. Chen's hand slammed onto the table. 12,000 human colonists are either dead or being experimented on as we speak, Ambassador. I don't give a damn about your politics. Commander Takahashi stepped forward, placing a calming hand on Chen's shoulder. What the Admiral means is that while the Concorde processes this information, people continue to suffer. We tracked the ship that took our colonists. We have coordinates for what we believe is a Vextiler research facility in unclaimed space. Chen regained her composure. We're going there, with or without Concorde sanction. The retribution wasn't built for diplomacy. It was built to bring our people home. Kavoran, the military liaison, exchanged glances with his fellow representatives before speaking. If the Vextiler truly have betrayed the Concorde's principles, then they are not just humanity's enemy. He stood, towering over the others. I will volunteer Concorde military observers to accompany your mission, Admiral. If evidence confirms your claims, the Vextiler will answer to all of us. Chen studied the alien carefully. This isn't an observation mission, Kavoran. We're going in with weapons hot. The alien's mandibles clicked in what the translation software identified as grim amusement. Good. Some crimes deserve more than observation. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Concord had never witnessed such chaos. Representatives from all 17 member species shouted accusations and denials as the evidence from the retribution played on massive displays throughout the chamber. The elegant crystalline architecture, designed to amplify clarity and promote harmony, now only served to intensify the discord. High Counselor Neth Vera, the eldest of the Pellerin representatives, repeatedly struck his resonant staff against the floor, attempting to restore order. The distinctive chime, normally commanding immediate respect, barely registered amid the tumult. Order. The council demands order. His amplified voice finally cut through the noise. The Vextiler delegation will be permitted to respond to these accusations. All eyes turned to the Vextiler representatives. Their tall, willowy forms seemed to ripple with suppressed emotion, their normally translucent skin flushed with dark patterns, a physiological response that their diplomatic training couldn't entirely suppress. Senior Representative Kolixar rose, his movements unnaturally fluid. These human allegations are preposterous. The Vextiler have been stewards of biological advancement within the Concorde for millennia. We categorically deny any unauthorized harvesting operations. From her position in the observation gallery, Admiral Chen watched with cold fury. Ambassador Voxel had insisted she attend but remained silent. A show of respect for Concorde protocols, he claimed. Now she understood the real reason. The Vextiler would never admit their crimes with the accusers present. Chen caught the eye of Kavoran, who subtly nodded. The military liaison activated his communication device, and moments later, the hall's displays changed. Distinguished representatives, Kavoran announced, The human evidence was compelling but incomplete. Therefore, a joint inspection team visited the coordinates provided by Admiral Chen. The displays now showed footage from this expedition, a massive orbital facility hidden in a nebula beyond Concorde space. The architecture was undeniably Vextiler, but nothing like their publicly known installations. "We found this," Kavorin continued grimly. "And inside." The footage shifted to interior views of containment chambers. Beings from dozens of species, some recognized as primitive races under Concorde protection, others entirely unknown, floated in suspension tanks. Many showed signs of extensive surgical modification. A horrified murmur swept through the assembly. Among the subjects, Kavorin's voice hardened. "We found 326 humans from the colony horizon. Most were no longer recognizably human." The Vextiler delegation erupted in protest, but it died quickly as more footage played. Documentation seized from the facility's databases showing centuries of systematic harvesting operations. "The evidence is irrefutable," declared Counselor Nethvera. "The Vextiler have violated our most sacred covenant. All Vextiler assets are hereby impounded pending a full investigation. Their delegation status is suspended effective immediately." Senior Representative Kolixar's composure finally broke. "You primitive fools. Our work has elevated the Concorde beyond mere existence to true evolutionary advancement. Without our biological innovations, half your species would still be confined to your homeworlds." "At what cost?" challenged a representative from the peaceful Ellerai. "How many innocent beings suffered for our advancement?" As the assembly descended once more into chaos, Admiral Chen's tactical officer approached with an urgent message. She reviewed the data, her expression growing grave. "Ambassador," she interrupted, pulling Voxel aside. "Our long-range sensors have detected a massive Vextiler fleet mobilizing at their homeworld. They've activated defenses we didn't know existed." Voxel's translator struggled to convey his dismay. "The Concorde has no military vessels near their system to monitor." "They're not heading toward Concorde space," Chen cut him off. "They're heading directly for Earth." Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of the Retribution, surveying the unlikely fleet assembling in Earth's orbit. Alongside the sleek, angular vessels of the Earth Defense Force floated the organic curves of Kavorin's Mantis warships, the crystalline structures of the Pellerin defense platforms, and the nebulous energy fields of the Ellerai peacekeepers, repurposed as shields for the Allied Armada. 27 ships, Commander Takahashi reported, plus our own 14, against a Vextiler fleet of over 200 vessels. Chen nodded grimly. "Quality over quantity, Commander. The Vextiler haven't fought a real war in over a millennium." They'd grown complacent. The tactical display showed the approaching enemy fleet, now less than 6 hours from Earth's outer defense perimeter. The Concorde Council remained paralyzed, unable to officially sanction military action against a founding member. These Allied ships had come voluntarily, their captains recognizing the threat the Vextiler posed to all species. "Status of Project Firewall?" Chen asked. Dr. Kapoor looked up from her station. "Final calibrations complete, Admiral. The quantum phase disruptors are synchronized with the Vextiler neural frequencies we extracted from the captured specimens. Once deployed, their biotechnology should experience cascading failures." The science behind the weapon had been Chen's greatest gamble. By reverse engineering the organic components of the harvester ships, Earth scientists had discovered the unique quantum resonance that allowed Vextiler technology to interface with living tissue. Disrupt that resonance, and their advantage disappeared. The bridge doors slid open as Ambassador Voxel entered with Kavorin and 3 other alien commanders. "Admiral," Kavorin began, "our intelligence suggests the Vextiler intend to implement what they call the cleansing protocol, the complete sterilization of Earth's biosphere to eliminate all evidence of their crimes." Chen's expression remained unchanged, though her knuckles whitened as she gripped the command console. "They'll find that significantly more challenging than they expect." At her gesture, the tactical display expanded, revealing hundreds of stealth platforms positioned throughout the solar system. Earth hasn't been defenseless since we recovered the first harvester ship. We've spent 20 years preparing for this exact scenario. The alien commanders studied the display with growing astonishment. "These weapon systems," exclaimed Commander Zelfar of the Pellerin Defense Force. "The energy signatures are unlike anything in our database." "Adaptive shield technology," Chen explained. "Quantum phase weaponry. Tactical AI systems that can predict and counter enemy movements within microseconds. All developed from technology we salvaged from Vex Tyler ships." Ambassador Voxel's translator conveyed his shock. "You've surpassed even Vex Tyler capabilities in some areas." "Necessity and vengeance are powerful motivators," Chen replied coldly. "What you see here is merely our forward defense element." Kavoran's sensory appendages twitched with curiosity. "Forward element. You have additional forces." Chen exchanged glances with her command staff before making a decision. These aliens had risked everything to stand with humanity. They deserved the truth. "Commander Takahashi, show them Artemis Base." The display shifted to a massive installation hidden beneath the lunar surface. Dozens of advanced warships sat in launch cradles, ready for deployment. "Earth's main battle fleet," Chen stated. "Constructed in secret using a prototype quantum tunnel for material transport. 120 vessels, each equal to the Retribution in firepower." The alien commanders stared in stunned silence. "When the Vex Tiller took everything from us," Chen continued, her voice deadly quiet, "they didn't realize what they were creating. They thought they were harvesting test subjects. Instead, they created the instrument of their reckoning." The void near Saturn's rings erupted with energy as the first wave of Vex Tyler ships emerged from their faster-than-light corridors. Their vessels resembled massive iridescent jellyfish, pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that served as both communication and weapon targeting systems. The fleet moved with eerie synchronization, a result of their partially hive-minded command structure. "Vex Tiller fleet has arrived at the outer defense perimeter," announced Lieutenant Park from the tactical station. 217 vessels detected. They're deploying in attack formation Delta. Admiral Chen stood at the center of the Retribution's command deck, her face illuminated by the holographic battle display. Around her, human and alien officers worked with practiced efficiency, the result of 3 days of intensive joint training. "They're following standard Concord military doctrine," noted Kavoran, with a chittering sound his translator rendered as disdain. "Predictable. They expect us to retreat toward Earth's inner defenses." Chen allowed herself a thin smile. "Then let's disappoint them. Commence Operation Guillotine." Throughout the Saturn sector, stealth platforms previously hidden among the planet's rings activated simultaneously. Concentrated beams of quantum disruption energy lanced out, targeting the lead vessels of the Vex Tyler formation. The massive bioships shuddered as the energy invaded their systems, organic components seizing and failing. "First strike successful," reported Commander Takahashi. 32 enemy vessels disabled. The remainder are adjusting formation. Chen nodded. "Deploy the fleet. All vessels maintain quantum communication protocols only. No standard transmissions." The Allied Armada emerged from hiding positions behind Saturn's moons, accelerating toward the disorganized Vex Tyler forces. Unlike traditional space battles that relied on long-range energy weapons, this engagement would happen at close quarters, a tactical choice that negated the Vex Tyler's numerical advantage. "The enemy is deploying biogenic countermeasures," warned Dr. Kapoor. "Spore-based weapons designed to infiltrate our ship's systems." "Activate hermetic protocols," ordered Chen. "And launch the hunter drones." From the Retribution's launch bays, swarms of autonomous drones, each barely larger than a human hand, streaked toward the Vex Tyler fleet. These machines, inspired by Earth's predatory insects, targeted the neural clusters that served as the Vex Tyler ship's command centers. The space between Saturn and its innermost moon became a chaotic battlefield. Human vessels executed combat maneuvers that defied conventional space tactics, utilizing short-range quantum jumps to appear within the defensive perimeters of Vex-Tyler ships before unleashing precision strikes. The Allied alien vessels provided supporting fire, their disparate technologies complementing the human assault. "Admiral," called Lieutenant Park urgently. "We're detecting energy buildup in the remaining Vex-Tyler capital ships. Signatures suggest some form of mass genetic weapon." Chen's expression hardened. "They're planning to release a biological agent against Earth, exactly as we anticipated." She opened a secure channel to Lunar Command. "This is Admiral Chen to Artemis Base. Execute Jump Protocol Omega. Authentication code. Horizons Light." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, space itself seemed to fold as a massive quantum tunnel opened near Earth's moon. The hidden human fleet emerged, not one by one, but simultaneously. A technological feat that should have been impossible according to known physics. "My God," whispered one of the alien observers. "They've mastered controlled quantum tunneling." The Vex-Tyler fleet, already engaged with the Saturn Defense Force, now faced a fresh armada at their rear. Their formation, designed for an assault on a fixed position, was completely vulnerable to this unexpected flanking maneuver. Admiral Chen's voice was calm as she gave the order that would end the Vex-Tyler threat once and for all. "All ships, deploy the pulse. Let's bring our people home." Throughout the combined fleet, specialized emitters activated, generating a targeted electromagnetic pulse calibrated to the exact frequency of Vex-Tyler neural networks. It was the culmination of 20 years of study, the weapon humanity had created from its pain and loss. Across the battlefield, the massive bioships began to fail, their elegant forms convulsing as their core systems collapsed. The battle for Earth had begun, and humanity was winning. 1 year after the Battle of Saturn, the newly constructed Concord Assembly Hall on neutral territory near Alpha Centauri hummed with activity. Unlike its predecessor's crystalline spires, this structure embodied architectural elements from all member species, including, prominently, the clean lines and practical efficiency favored by humans. Admiral Helena Chen, now wearing the formal diplomatic uniform of the United Earth Government, studied the chamber from her position at the central podium. Representatives from 23 species filled the tiered seating. The original 17 Concord members, minus the Vex-Tyler, plus 7 newly recognized civilizations discovered during the cleanup operations. The final report on rehabilitation efforts has been distributed to all delegations, Chen announced, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber. "Of the 12,384 humans taken from Horizon, we recovered 8,621 survivors." A solemn silence fell over the assembly. The number, while representing an extraordinary success, still acknowledged profound loss. "Restoration of these survivors continues at specialized facilities on Earth and our colony worlds," Chen continued. "Many will never fully return to their previous state, but all are receiving the care they deserve." She gestured to Dr. Kapoor, who activated the central display. Images appeared of similar rehabilitation centers across the galaxy, where victims of Vex-Tyler harvesting from dozens of species were receiving treatment. The technology developed to help these survivors has already yielded breakthroughs in medical science that benefit all our peoples, Kapoor explained. "From tragedy, we are creating something positive. Ethical advances in regenerative medicine that will save countless lives." High Counselor Neth Vera rose from his seat. "And what of the Vex-Tyler themselves? The containment of their homeworld remains a significant drain on our combined resources." Commander Kevorin, now serving as security director for the reformed Concord, stepped forward. "The quarantine remains necessary. While most Vex-Tyler civilians were unaware of their leadership's crimes, their biological technologies remain dangerous. The observation fleet will maintain its position until the new Vex-Tyler government has proven its commitment to reform." Chen noted the practical consensus in the room. The Vex-Tyler threat had accomplished what centuries of diplomacy could not, a true galactic alliance based on mutual defense and respect. "Before we adjourn," Chen said, "I have a personal announcement. The chamber quieted once more. The Concord Council has offered me command of the new Joint Defense Force. After consideration, I have decided to decline. Murmurs of surprise rippled through the assembly. Instead, Chen continued, I've requested command of the explorer vessel Horizon's Legacy *. There are more species out there who may have suffered under Vex-Tyler predation. I intend to find them and offer them the same justice and healing we've achieved together. Later that evening, as the diplomatic functions concluded, Shen found herself on an observation deck overlooking the shipyards where the Horizon's Legacy * was nearing completion. The vessel represented the best of human and alien technology, designed not for war, but for discovery and aid. Commander Takahashi joined her, offering a small metal object. From the memorial on New Horizon Colony, Admiral, I thought you might want it for your new journey. Chen accepted her old admiral's insignia, worn and weathered from its year at the colony memorial site. She traced the familiar pattern with her finger, remembering the faces of those lost and those recovered. 20 years ago, they took my daughter from me, she said quietly. I built a warship to find her. Now I'll build something better in her memory. The Horizon's Legacy * gleamed in the light of Alpha Centauri's twin stars, once a system of loss for humanity, now a symbol of new beginnings. From the depths of tragedy and the fires of vengeance, something unexpected had emerged. Hope. As Chen turned to leave, a communication alert chimed. A distant probe had detected unusual energy signatures beyond known space, possibly another civilization in distress. Looks like our work isn't finished, she remarked with the first genuine smile her old friend had seen in years. It never is, Takahashi replied. That's what makes us human.